Hey again, it's Michael Taylor, owner of the 26 and 19 Sim Cup cars, and I'm finally bringing you the video for the Tropicana 500. This race was at Daytona, and it's race 11 on the Sim Cup season. And let's get to the action because there was a record number of lead changes this race. So it's pretty exciting. On the pole is Anthony Wick. My team's on the pole for the second straight week, which doesn't seem like that because it's been over a month since I recorded. Scott Unger on the outside, then Zach Dorian, Michael Adkins, Jim Powers, Joey Walkowiak, Patrick Cobb Jr., Davis McAfee, and Dylan Fisher and Carl Flint round out the top 10. Row 6, Kevin Richmond and Carson Fitzpatrick, Jason Severn and Matthews Barros, Daniel Alderson, Tim Bowen, Matt Sadici, Tommy Morello, Ricky Brackett, and Reed Conway. And then in our last row, Brendan Irons and Drew Tabulov. The Tropicana 500 was 200 laps, and it was a 61-degree night, which is weird for Daytona in the fall. So let's get to the action. So lap 1, here's all the cars lined up, coming down to take the green flag. And right as they pass start-finish line, Wick and Unger stay even into turn 1, but Zach Dorian slid under Unger and took the lead. But that that pack racing lasted a little bit, not as long as many people would like to see, because lap 13, Fisher spins, crashes into Jim Powers. Powers, he's out, and it brought out a caution. Fisher was able to repair the damage and get back out, and he was a factor in this race. And you can see it on this screen, but there's a puff of smoke right behind the 25 car. So Joey Walkowiak, he blew a header, and so 2 retirements in the span of 1 lap. A bunch of cars pit because this ended up as a fuel mileage race. So about half the cars were on a different pit strategy the whole race. Lap 22, the pack racing started up again, and Carson Fitzpatrick, he had problems. He had electrical issues, so that's a 3rd retirement. Then lap 29, Barros retires with a gearbox issue. 4 retirements in 29 laps. Lap 43, the first cars that did not pit originally start to make their way down the pit road. Anthony Wick was leading, and he brings 3 cars into the pits with him. Lap 63, you can see the cars that are now leading as green flag pit stops cycle through. The 6 is out front with the 17 and 87 car right behind him. Lap 74, the pack catches up to those guys, and it starts they start to build a pack again, even if it would last only a few laps because of the pit strategies. Lap 85, here's the cars coming down to the pits. So it's a 61, 26, and 21, I believe. Then lap 97, the 19 and 38, both cars on different strategies. They're out front now. Reed Conway looking for his first win of the year as a rookie, and Dylan Fisher looking to rebound from an absolute shit year so far. Lap 110, now Severn's in the lead with Fisher right behind. The pack caught up to those 2 cars and passed both of them. Conway, you can see, is all the way back in 10th right now. Lap 112, Carl Flint, he's out with electrical issues. So that's 5 retirements on the day, just over a halfway. So that pack racing kind of came and went with the pit stops. Fast forward to lap 152 with 48 to go. Bowen's out front with the 6 to 38 and 34 catching up to him with the draft, and Bowen's all alone. But 36 to go, the 2 car coming into the tri-oval spins and hits the back wall. Tabulov, and he was leading, so that's a big momentum killer, especially since no caution was called. So that put a dent in the 2 cars' day. He went a lap down. pit stops were finally going around, and some cars were a lap down because of the leader. And just what no one wanted to see, the 21 car, he spins and crashes, and that brings out a caution, and everyone comes in and pits. So now everyone is able to make it on fuel, but only about 15, or more like 10 cars are on the lead lap. So here's a picture of everyone coming down to pit. 23 to go, green flag, and everyone's in the pack with Scott Unger. He is the sixth car to retire. And that might be a record, I'm not sure, but this was pretty crazy because, I mean, one, because four cars retired so early, and then other cars just got picked off along the way. I think most of them were Fords anyway, so maybe there's something in the engine. With 17 laps to go, Dylan Fisher, he's leading the pack. And with 14 laps to go, he gets pushed out of the way by Michael Adkins. Adkins to the lead. 10 to go, Richmond, our points leader, he takes the lead. And there's a group of 14 cars right there, all running nose to tail. Some of them are a lap down. I know Wick's a lap down. I'm not real sure. It's been a while, but there's 14 cars on this picture, but not all of them are in the lead. I can tell you, actually, the 21 car, or no, the 9 car, 61 car, and 26 car are all a lap down. So the rest of those are fighting for position for the win. 9 laps to go, you can see Daniel Alderson. He's framing up a move to try to win this race. It would be his first win if he can pull it off. But he'd have to go through about 10 cars. With 5 to go, Severn and McAfee battling for the lead. And then 2 to go, here comes Alderson on the inside. He has to fight off points leader Kevin Richmond. And going into turn 3, Alderson was able to get under Richmond with some help from Brendan Irons. On the last lap, here's Alderson crossing the finish line and getting his first win for his career and Bremy Racing. So that was 94 lead changes, which I don't think any race yet has been even close to that. This was one of the best races just because it was up and down and the pack remained together for most of the race. But that's it from me. Let's check the results. Alderson out front with Irons, Tim Bowen, Kevin Richmond, Davis McAfee, Reed Conway, Ricky Brackett, Jason Severn, Dylan Fisher, and Matt Sedici in the top 10. And Morello and Patrick Cobb were the only cars. Were 11th and 12th. Patrick Cobb was 30 seconds behind, so he's the only car on the lead lap not in the lead group. Adkins, Dorian, and Anthony Wick finished a lap down with Drew Tabulov, who had damage from that crash. Then the retirees, Unger, Flint, Barros, Fitzpatrick, Wakowiak, and Powers, all with DNFs. So driver standings, Kevin Richmond, he still has a lead, but the lead is shrinking with Daniel Alderson's win. Davis McAfee and Ricky Brackett follow behind them. Michael Adkins, Jim Powers, Scott Unger, Carl Flint, Jason Severn, and Zach Dorian round out the top 10. Then Anthony Wick, Reed Conway, Joey Wakowiak, Brendan Irons, Drew Tabulov, rookies Patrick Cobb Jr. and Carson Fitzpatrick, Sedici, Bowen, Barros, Tommy Morello, and then last and least, Dylan Fisher. Point standings, Dumas Racing still has a lead, but it's shrinking again because of the good run by Burmese Brothers. Fletcher, Autosport, KMI, Big Stuff, Revolution Motorsports, and North Star Motorsports. They're the only, those 7 are within 152 points. And then a big gap to Creechin and Irish Lads Racing, who are tied at 228 behind. Then the roommates, Team Harden and Taylor Motorsports, rounding out 10th and 11th. So that's the end of this video. Please follow us on the links that are provided. I promise I'll try to keep this more updated than I have been. I'm trying to streamline the whole process so it doesn't take 2 weeks of just not wanting to do this to finally produce a video. But thanks again if you've made it here, probably all 15 of you. So check in hopefully next week for the race at Michigan.